Quentin didn't quite understand the context, but he replied anyway. Around 100,000. Patricia half-heartedly scolded.
Oh, don't spend so much in the future. It's only a car.
She smiled as she looked over at Susie, waiting for her to say something else. She thought to herself.
How about that, Dorothy?
Susie swallowed her pride. Naturally, she was unhappy that Patricia had showed her up. She had actually forgotten about the younger daughter. Nonetheless, she waved her hand and pretended to be unimpressed.
Forget it,
she said. I'll wait for Chase and the others outside. Whatever candle you're burning is too overwhelming anyway. With that, she left the house. Patricia snorted disdainfully. Just as Susie was closing the door behind her, she ran into Chase and Celia on the stairs. She met her cousin's gaze and glared. What took you so long? She asked harshly. I came to pick you guys up, but you're late. I can't wait around forever, you know. She was taking out her frustration on them. Celia apologized embarrassedly. Sorry, Suze. It shouldn't take me long. Why don't you wait for us while we change? We won't be a second. As she watched Chase and Celia walk inside, Susie's expression was full of disdain as she muttered under her breath. I'd expect nothing less from someone so impatient that she got knocked up before her wedding. What did you say? Said Chase, wheeling around on the spot. He didn't like it when people teased and bullied him, but he learned to put up with it. But Celia? She was a completely different matter. What do you mean? Susie replied, feigning innocence. What's wrong? What's more is that she wasn't sorry for having said it in the first place. Chase had caused her aunt and then their family nothing but trouble. He'd been a stain on the Sampson and Jackson family names. Celia's reputation was already in the garbage along that of her husband's. She no longer pretended to care. Instead, she said coldly, What's wrong with what I said? Was that a lie? We all know you knocked her up first and then married her to save her face. If I were her mother, I would have kicked her out a long time ago. Chase clenched his fist so hard his nails began to dig into his palms. He wanted to tear her limb from limb. Celia, already halfway into the house, suddenly noticed that her husband wasn't behind her. Unaware of what had just transpired, she went back for Chase, grabbing his hand and pulling him gently inside. All right, Sue, stop talking to Chase or you'll make us later than we already are. He restrained himself and said to Suze, Don't say another word about my wife or daughter. She snorted around and turned to wait for them by the car. Inside the house, most of the Sampson family was gathered in the living room. When Patricia saw Chase and Celia walking through the door, she lost her temper.
What are you doing here? She shouted. I thought you were going to stay at the hospital.
Mom, said Celia, he's here for the party. Patricia frowned. She hadn't wanted him to come. His presence would make her the laughingstock of the reunion. Chase knew what she was getting at. He simply said, Celia asked me to come. At this, Celia wrapped her arms around her husband and said, That's right. I invited him. He's my husband. Patricia lost it. She began to envision Chase at the party being ridiculed by her whole family. Just thinking about it made her flustered. She began to scream.
Where does this piece of trash think he is going? The whole family is laughing at us. You cannot bring him.
But Celia was determined. He had been good to her, especially recently, and her feelings for him were growing stronger. Besides, he wasn't the useless trash that everyone thought he was. She wanted to prove everyone wrong. We'll get ourselves there then, she said directly to her mother. But he's coming with me.
You foolish girl,
snarled Patricia.
Do you really want to embarrass yourself like that?
Seeing that she was determined to take him, Patricia grew anxious.
I raised you for more than 20 years and this is how you repay me?
She didn't feel like handling this alone, so she called for her husband.
Jean, come down here quickly. Your daughter is insisting on bringing her good-for-nothing husband to the party.
He came slowly sauntering down the stairs, not in much of a rush to deal with their wife's anxiety. He finally said to Chase, "Look, Patricia doesn't need to deal with this today. It's her mother's birthday. If you don't want her and Celia to suffer, then just stay back. Go to the hospital and be with your daughter." Chase sighed. It was no use. His in-laws had such a deeply negative impression of him that nothing would erase it. But not to cause Celia any trouble, he compromised and said, "Okay, I'll go back to the hospital. But Leah, give this to your grandmother for me, okay?" He handed her the gift box Tim had prepared. Seeing this, Patricia was annoyed.
Good. You might as well throw the present away here. No one in our family wants a gift from him.
Celia couldn't take it anymore. He clearly had good intentions. He prepared and arranged a present and a birthday gift to her grandmother. It was sweet and sincere. "All right," she said. "Then go without me. I won't go if he doesn't." He tossed her back to the side and plopped down on the sofa.
Stupid girl, are you so determined to disobey us?
Patricia stared at her ungrateful daughter. But Celia was ferocious. "If none of you don't want him as your son-in-law, then you won't have me as your daughter," she threatened. Patricia stood in shock. She put her hands to her face and turned to her husband.
"Jean, your inconsiderate daughter wants to leave this family. After 20 years, how ungrateful. Is she trying to kill me?"
She was hysterical now. She stumbled backward into the wine cabinet and almost sent the glasses careening down. Chase knew this was no act, so he quickly stepped in to help. "Patricia, calm down," he said. He tried to move over to the couch, but she didn't want him to touch her. She flinched and pulled back, shouting,
"I don't need you to take care of me. If our family is dishonored and embarrassed, I will never stop punishing you. Even when I die, I will haunt you from my grave. Do you understand?"
He gritted his teeth and swallowed back his anger. Celia, however, wasn't ready to be quiet. "Do whatever you want," she shouted. She then walked over to Chase, grabbed his hand, and said, "He's coming with me today. It's my grandmother's birthday. I don't need your permission." She pulled on him and said, "Let's go." She ignored her mother's over-the-top reaction and led Chase out of the front door and down the stairs, leaving her family stunned. What had gotten into her today? Why was she being so stubborn? But Celia felt triumphant. She had already decided yesterday when Chase had saved her at Laudervale Tower that she would stand by his side no matter what, even if it meant losing her family.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.